he had a reptile lab, and he was interested in sex, hormones, and the brain. So the story originally begins, if I may, when I was 19 years old and I was an undergraduate at Harvard. And I was supposed to be a hockey player. Like in my head, I was going to be like a professional hockey player. And it turned out I could play at a decent level. And in my second year, I didn't know what I was doing. And I ran into a biology professor from whom I'd taken a class in Harvard Square. And I was completely lost. I was just a lost sophomore, not sure what I was doing. And he said, "How you doing?" And I told him, "Actually, I'm not doing that well. I don't know if I should, just stop college, just drop out." And he said, "Why don't you come work in my lab? You might like it." His name was David Cruz. And he changed my life and put me on a track from age 19 to here I am, 50 years later. It's unbelievable. And so he had a reptile lab, and he was interested in sex, hormones, and the brain. And so the first project, I worked on these little American chameleons. If you've been there, you see them everywhere on the walls, on the sidewalks, inside your hotel room sometimes.
Terrifying.
And you put a male in the cage with the female, and they have this bright colored flap of skin that comes out. It's called a dewlap. And the male sees the female, the dewlap comes out, and their head bobs really quickly. It's almost like the male is going, yeah, 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 yeah. Like he's interested. The female does a little stately push-up that says, "Okay, buddy, what you got?" And then the male comes closer and he repeats the behavior, and then they mate. If you castrate the male, which means removing the testicles, which was the first procedure I ever did in a lizard, in anything, not knowing I was going to go to medical school, let alone become a urologist. But if you castrate the male, you put him in a cage with a female, they don't do anything. They have no interest. The female will sometimes do her push-up and say, "Hey, buddy, I'm over here." But their testosterone is gone. And then my project was we'd mapped out where in the brain, the itty-bitty brain of these itty-bitty lizards, where testosterone was taken up and what was likely to be the sexual centers. And my project that took 3 years to do was to put tiny implants of testosterone powder into those little sections of the brain. And when I was successful in doing it and putting it in the right place, these males that had no detectable testosterone, just testosterone in their brain, would see the female, the dewlap would come out, head would bob up and down, yeah, 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 and they would mate. It was the most amazing thing. And so my first publication on testosterone is in 1978, and that was the start.